Ruth Leon Navarro is testing her blood glucose levels. She does this up to 10 times a day. Now she's injecting insulin. She does that up to 7 times a day. This is a normal routine for someone like Ruth who lives with type 1 diabetes.
They've given us some what we call optimal targets, so to try and stay within a certain target, and this is a target they've determined will keep us healthier for longer and reduce our chance of developing any diabetic complications. We're trying to do physically what a person with a working pancreas, their body would do automatically.
Currently, there are about 130,000 Australians living with type 1 diabetes. This group accounts for about 10% of all people with diabetes in Australia. It is the most common chronic illness in children, but you can get it at any age. And once you have type 1 diabetes, you've got it for life. There's no prevention and there's no cure. It's an autoimmune condition where the immune system destroys the cells in the pancreas which produce insulin. Insulin acts as a key that allows glucose in the blood to enter the body cells and be used as fuel. Without insulin, your body can't access the fuel it needs, and the glucose in your blood rises to dangerous levels. Insulin brings your blood glucose levels down. In the short term, high blood sugar levels can lead to diabetic ketoacidosis, an often fatal condition that needs immediate hospital treatment. In the long term, high blood glucose levels can lead to blindness, amputation, neuropathy, kidney disease, or cardiovascular disease. But having blood sugar levels that are too low are also dangerous. This is called hypoglycemia, or a hypo. If left untreated, a hypo can cause a person to go unconscious, fall into a coma, and even die. A hypo is treated with fast-acting carbohydrates like jelly beans or lemonade to bring your blood glucose up quickly.
It's a constant juggling act, so it's manageable, but it is constant and you cannot stop. You have to take your insulin. You have to check your blood sugar, and you have to do it every single day for the rest of your life.
There is a better way to manage blood glucose levels and insulin delivery. This is a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM for short. It's used for monitoring blood glucose continuously in order to gain insight into patterns and trends throughout the day and night. Some CGMs have alarms that alert the user if their blood sugar is going too low or too high. In most cases, they remove the need for finger pricks altogether. They cost around $4,000 a year. It's free for people under 21, women either pregnant or trying to become pregnant, and people with healthcare cards. Ruth doesn't fall into any of those categories.
So I can't afford it. It is outside of my budget. I would love it. I did get to try it for a short period of time and it was wonderful.
Insulin pumps are another important piece of technology for people with type 1 diabetes. They replace the need for injecting multiple times a day. The pump is programmed to deliver a steady stream of insulin 24/7. To give extra insulin for food, you just work out how much you need, tell the pump, and the pump does the rest. Insulin pumps are not covered by the NDSS or Medicare, but they are covered by hospital insurance, something not everyone can afford.
So I've never actually sat down and added up, the test strips, the lancets, the insulin pump consumables, the insulin over a year, but it is definitely thousands and thousands of dollars out of pocket for having an autoimmune condition. Yeah.
Jenna says she also pays $800 per month for health insurance as a family. She says the insurance covers the cost of the pump.
The sensor actually talks to the pump. So at any every minute, every 20, in every 24-hour day, it's sort of recording what your glucose is. And then if you're going a little bit high, it'll have 1 arrow up to 3 arrows. So it tells you sort of how quickly you're going high or low. So you can wake up in the morning and you can have a look at what your graph was overnight. So it's pretty life-changing.
Type 1 and the associated health complications place a high cost on individuals, families, governments and the economy. JDRF says the cost of type 1 is $2.9 billion a year through healthcare costs, reduced well-being, lower employment and additional care. Researchers say that access to CGMs and pumps can help people have better control of their glucose levels, reducing the risk of long-term complications and the significant cost that results. Providing CGM and pump access costs about $120,000 for each individual over their lifetime, but can save $174,000 in lifetime costs due to reduced complications and their significant impact.
Now, as part of our current Access for All campaign what we are saying is more needs to be done to ensure that more Australians can access technology that can have a significant impact on their life and is no longer considered just a gold standard of care, but the basic standard of care more people should access.
David says that in the lead up to the next federal election, JDRF is asking for increased government funding so that all people with type 1 diabetes can access CGMs and pumps. I wrote to Greg Hunt, the Minister for Health, asking for his response. His spokesperson said in a statement, any decision to further expand the CGM initiative would need to be considered against competing priorities in the health budget. Ruth is not sitting around waiting.
I swim, I run, I ran a marathon, I go to the gym every day, I climb mountains, I hang off cliffs upside down, I've done canyoning, whitewater rafting. There is nothing you cannot do being a diabetic that you couldn't do before. You just have to manage it and maybe just carry a few bags of lollies around with you.
Netta Finney, Deakin University News.